as I saw the foam, my friend had gotten some, and I just thought, oh, that's going to sound amazing. So I propped up the camera and just started going for it. As you can tell, I am in my pajamas as a result of the impromptu nature of the video. I guess I can't really even call these pajamas considering I wear them all day. They're just house clothes, I guess. It sounds nice with the palms of the hands and the fingertips as well. The pitter-patter is a really nice, relaxing sound, the pitter-patter of the fingers like this. So I know that I always tell you guys stories from the day, and quite often they are things that the littles in my life have done, because let's be honest, kids are hilarious. They just do the funniest stuff. So I went downstairs this morning for my breakfast and I turned the corner into the kitchen, and my friend's 2-year-old twin boys are crouched on the floor near a cupboard, and one of them, I can see their hands. They're not doing any damage, but the other's hands are like inside the cupboard. And so, like, you know, when kids are silent and not making noise, that's usually when you need to check on them because they're probably getting into some mischief of some kind. So I walked over and wanted to give them little hugs, and sure enough, the one with their hands not showing but are like slightly in the cupboard has got mass amounts of acrylic paint smothered on his hands all the way up past his elbows, like colours everywhere. He had opened up his mum's acrylic paints that are expensive paints, by the way, and he had gone about spreading them all over his hands and arms and the floor inside the cupboard. And like, he opened up probably about 10 of the 20 paints and squirted them out all over, and then they were all over his hands, like a thick amount of paint. And so I promptly went and grabbed his mom and was like, hey, I think I need you in the kitchen, friend. My poor friend. What had happened was, she usually has that cupboard not locked because it doesn't have a childproof lock. She put something in front of it so they can't get in there. But what had happened was she had to move that for something they were doing. She quickly moved it, went upstairs for something, and literally within that short period of time, that's what they had done. Only one of them had done it. So yeah, he was covered in paint, and it was both funny and sad, because my friend was sad her paints had gotten spoiled. But she grabbed some canvases and like paintbrushes and kind of just started painting from the floor that was on the ground, because she didn't want the paint to go to waste because it's quite expensive. absurd. It's like constantly comedy, constant comedy around here. So in order to decrease my friend's stress a bit, I took those little nuggets upstairs for their nap, and so she would not have to do that whole routine with them. I took them up and I told them some stories in my lap in a rocking chair, and it was so cute. They're so soft and like squishy. I love it. And then I popped them into their beds and I sang to them. And I found a trick with one of them. The one who did the big paint mess. He has a harder time falling asleep than his brother. He's very restless and excited and wants to be with people. He's very extroverted. And so what I did is I decided I would scratch his back while singing the songs to him. Usually, I think the parents, if they need to put them down, they sometimes will just sit with them or tell them a story. But I was like, you know what? This little guy loves it when I scratch his back. Like, he stops playing and he keeps telling me more every time I stop. And so I know he has like a bit of ASMR in him. And so I thought, okay, it's been a bit of a crazy morning, and I know he will take too long to fall asleep, and the problem is that his brother falls asleep quickly if he can, but the restless brother will keep the other brother awake, and even if the other brother does start to fall asleep, the restless brother will call his brother's name over and over until he wakes up to play with him again. So I thought, okay, that can't happen today. Let's see what we can do here. So I sat on the bed with the little who's restless, and I started to scratch his back while I was singing to them. And he knocked out so fast when I did that. Prior to that, he was literally rolling back and forth into a ball, up and down and this and there and everywhere. And so I went and sat beside him and just started to scratch his back and his little head and stuff. And he loved it. Finally was able to stop moving because he was so relaxed, and he knocked out. And the other brother, of course, when he falls asleep, then when the brother that's restless falls asleep, then he just knocks out pretty quickly. So it's beautiful and really cute and sweet. So I'm going to have to pass on that trick. I think that they will be very excited to hear that there's a way to get that nugget to go to sleep faster. When I was very little, I would ask my mom to scratch my back when I went to sleep as well sometimes, and it was always something that I loved. And I'm one of those restless, I go to sleep quite quickly, not too long, but if I wake up in the middle of the night, then sometimes I can be up for a long time. And so that's when I can get restless. So I've learned actually to sometimes even to scratch my own arm or head, and it calms me and I'm able to stop moving. Have you guys ever had that happen where I don't know what it is, but you move one direction and your body just feels like you need to move again and again and again because you get almost like an anxiety or OCD about it, which I have both of those things, which is lovely. And it's just you can't stop moving, and it gets very uncomfortable and annoying and frustrating tips on how to help yourself fall back asleep if you've woken up. I am a professional at that. It's because I do, when I wake up it's hard for me to fall back asleep, so I've had to learn lots of tips and tricks over the years, and actually they really, really help, and of course ASMR is one of them. Do any of you guys deal with that? Waking up and not being able to fall asleep? Again. I know a lot of you just in general struggle with insomnia. So just falling asleep even in general, like even when you first go to sleep. So I'm sure there are lots of tips and tricks and stuff out there. Feel free to share them in the comments so we can all benefit from what you've learned over the years. I think these nails were actually really good for this particular foam because I was able to still kind of push into the foam a bit. If they were really long, I think they might have been a bit, it might actually have hurt a little, whereas these was perfect. You guys, I got a pack of Mochi, a box of Mochi for a video for you guys, where I'm tapping on the package, the box, and then unboxing it, kind of cutting the Mochi, and it's I'm really excited about it because I filmed it yesterday for you guys, and I have to get to editing it, but I'm really excited for you to get to see it. If you don't know what Mochi is, it's basically a rice that's pound down into a really chewy, yummy, usually kind of dessert really. You can have Mochi with a red bean inside, or different, they have green tea Mochi. Anyway, there's an outer portion that's the pounded down rice, and then in a bit of an inner portion. It's just delicious. It has the best texture. It's so it's fun to kind of watch it be cut open because of the texture that it's made from. So anyway, I'm excited for you to get to see that video. I just filmed that yesterday, so it's on my mind to edit it. I'm excited. See how I can kind of push my hands into the foam and it just pops back up. It even does that with my nails. And here I'm doing it with my thumbs. There's that nice pitter patter again. Okay, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed the sounds of this foam and just me chit-chatting with you guys. I hope that you are feeling relaxed and that maybe you've fallen asleep. Thank you again for everything. Thank you so much for watching the channel, for your sweet comments. Feel free to come join me on Instagram. I love to see all of your different photos and the things that you share about yourself there. You can also join me on Patreon too. I love to get to know you guys in both of those ways. I'll do Q&A